Hey y'all, this is me, the Alabama Hellbilly, or Tony Went, coming to you again, this time from the Winfield City Cemetery here in the glorious city owned by God, according to our city council. As some of you know and watched before about the making of our tombstone, this is kind of a continuation of our ongoing fight with all of the fine, upstanding Christians here in this glorious city owned by God. Well, after we made the tombstone, we started having a problem with some of these fine, upstanding soldiers for Jesus coming out here and vandalizing our tombstone. They were doing things like spraying it down with paint thinner or dumping turpentine on it, and on a couple of occasions even pouring gasoline over it and trying to light it on fire with cigarettes. So what we ended up doing, as of course after we started reporting this, nobody wanted to take it serious and wanted to actually claim that we were making all this up. So what we ended up doing is we went up and we bought a deer cage. And we took it and mounted it on this tree over here. We actually took it and we strapped it down and secured it to this tree in such a manner that you could not simply take it off. It would have had to have been cut. It was strapped and padlocked to this tree. Now at that point in time, this brush and bamboo that you see here was grown out and a bit more around it and made the camera a bit more obscure and difficult to see. So after we collected several photographs of individuals coming out and vandalizing our tombstone, we attempted to go to the city council and other authorities here in town, as well as writing numerous letters to federal authorities and other such, trying to get some help with our situation. Nobody would help us. One of the big problems we were having was that several individuals from the Winfield City Water Department were coming out here on their lunch break and taking their lunch breaks out here over our grave, over our daughter's grave. They'd come out and they'd put up some type of a sign up over her grave over here and would cluster around it doing who knows what. But it was obvious it was a jovial occasion for them. They were laughing, joking, high-fiving each other, and on occasion pouring things over the grave, which we'd come out the next day and find out was things like turpentine and gasoline. Let's go back over here to the grave. We ended up taking these photographs and we gave them to the city council. If you'll notice on my video that I had posted there where I confronted the city council, they consistently demanded over and over again, and before this I had already spoken with the city attorney about this, and they kept wanting the photographs. So we gave them the photographs, at least some of them. And instead of doing anything about it, what they ended up doing was they cut back this bamboo where we had the camera hid and stole the camera. Well, the camera's conveniently gone, disappeared approximately a week after we turned in the photographs to the city council. To date, nothing has been done about the vandalism on the grave. We reported the theft of the camera to the police department, of course, who conveniently have not come up with any suspects. This is a relatively small community. The camera had to have been cut down professionally. It was stolen the same day that all this bamboo was cut back. And it had to have been cut by professional gardening tools. The same types of saws and equipment you would have to have cut down and cut back this bamboo. Very convenient. The consistent answer that I'm still getting from the local police and others concerning this is, well, the vandalism has stopped, hasn't it? Nobody is continuing to vandalize your grave, your daughter's grave, right? It's over. And many of those on the town council are telling us that they've been out here and inspected the tombstone and could find no signs of vandalism. Well, just a couple of days ago, somebody had came out and kicked over this tombstone and stomped it and stomped all the flower arrangements. Now we've come back out and replaced it. But once again, I've called the police about it, and they have done nothing, really didn't even send anybody out. And I'll go back in Monday to the police department and talk with the chief of police again concerning the continuing vandalism of the grave and the fact that they cannot manage to come up with any possible explanation on what could have ever have happened to my camera, other than that it couldn't possibly have been anybody associated with the city or the city council. Now, if you come here and take a look, you can rather plainly see a lot of the damage that's been done to this stone that our esteemed city council can't seem to manage to evaluate. For one thing, this is purple heartwood. If you take a good close look at this, you can see the discoloration in it. Being purple heartwood, this should turn darker the more it's exposed to the outside environment. This stone should be a deep purple, if not almost black. Now here, you can very plainly see the damage that's been done to the stone as a result of all of the garbage that's been poured over it. We coated this thing with some 30 different coats of sealant and varnish. My wife is a rather accomplished woodworker and knows quite a bit about woodcraft and preserving items to survive outside. In fact, we have a fair amount of woodwork around the house and outside that my wife constructed that's managed to survive for over 20 years without any damage. But you can already see the decay starting to set in. In addition to which, if you look here and you look over here, you can see where the case that I've constructed for the base of this grave marker has been busted open by the individuals who flipped it over and stomped it just a few days ago. Now, a few weeks back, I had went back to confront the city council concerning the theft of the camera and asked them what, if anything, they had done regarding the pictures I'd turned in. And the solution was that they had the chief of police take me off to sit down and talk to me in private. I'll end up posting that video very soon. I may even clip it onto the end of this. Most likely I'll go ahead and post it separate. But it's a very short one. It only lasted a few minutes before the mayor and the rest of the city council had me essentially escorted from the room. At this point, we really don't know what else to do. This grave marker that we worked so hard on constructing ourselves because nobody would sell us one is not going to last much longer. The decay has already set into the wood. And with the continuing acts of violence, and now with no camera out here even to catch it, had they left the camera alone and not stolen it, we would at least know who it was that kicked this thing over and stomped it just maybe 2 days ago. But that was the whole idea. With the camera gone, these great warriors for God now have carte blanche to come out and vandalize a child's grave in Jesus' name. Hallelujah. We don't know what to do. If any of you have any ideas, we're open to suggestions. At this point, we're out of ideas. The city council won't help us. The local police won't help us. The federal authorities that we've tried to contact won't even respond to us, won't help us. We've contacted numerous attorneys trying to get some legal help on this. They won't help us. They won't give us any response. We're on our own and we're under siege. We cannot even bury our children in peace. We don't know what to do at this point.